Alex Jones was banned finally on YouTube. He's been talking about it for years. By the way, there's so much to talk about as far as this goes. There are so many implications. There is so many precedents that are set by this. But I want to start this video off coming out clean. When I was a kid, I used to want to be a referee because I enjoyed fair play, right? I enjoy fair play. Like, it's something I really obsess about. Even if I hate somebody else's point of view and I don't agree with it, I don't want to censor it. I don't want to do it. I am very scared for people at this point because of what's going on. And let's make no mistake about it. Him being banned is the right of these companies. They have the right to do whatever they want. But these companies are so powerful now. Everything everybody does, anybody everywhere can become powerful or get news out there because of these platforms. So when somebody is banned or censored, it is a big deal. It is a huge deal. It would be, you know what I mean? If CBS Radio said this guy's banned from ever being a host on our shows, it wouldn't even be close to as impactful as being banned on YouTube, because that's somewhere you can build. I'm a great example. This is Shame on News. We can build and do what we want here, but not really anymore. Now, you know, from all I know, and we're going to show a lot of examples of a lot of things in a minute. CNN is news. A lot of times CNN gets many things right. A lot of times when they get it wrong, they retract the story. A lot of times they get things wrong or they spin things and they don't apologize. I view Alex Jones and InfoWars the same way. Sometimes they spin stories. They give their opinion after giving the story. They put a spin on the story before that to alter it. They break news that other people aren't covering. They get things right. They make predictions that come true. They also make statements that are inaccurate and sometimes are false as well. The same way that CNN does it, but on a different level, because they're not corporatized the same way CNN is. Every news outlet that I can tell, the only person I've listened to that covers news that I feel is not a biased person, for the most part, everybody is, but it's the degree that matters. Philip DeFranco, to me. Philip DeFranco, to me, is one of the fairest people that I've ever heard cover stories or talk about news. I've never heard someone give both sides, give their opinion, but offer up both sides, but not in a Boogie 298 way where he kind of takes the back door. I really have grown to have more appreciation for Philip DeFranco because he doesn't do what Alex Jones and InfoWars does. He doesn't do what CNN does. He doesn't do what Facebook does and all these other people do. Facebook, Fox News is what I meant to say. Facebook isn't a news site. You know, he pretty much gives his opinion, but also gives you all the sides of things as well, for the most part, as best he can, I feel like. He really is one of the best journalists. If he's not really a journalist, I don't know, but he's one of the best people, I think, to watch without being manipulated as far as news goes. Philip DeFranco. But be that as it may, I don't believe that Fox should be censored. I don't believe that Alex Jones should be censored. You know, when George Bush wanted to go to war, he used the news stations to promote this, of the weapons of mass destruction. So, you know, just like many people, I think what people did, people always go back to the Sandy Hook thing. That is despicable. The people went out there and called these people, when they don't know what was real and what wasn't real, that they actually just took it upon themselves to attack these families is disgusting and horrific. But again, I don't put that on Alex Jones, just as I think that, I mean, obviously I don't agree with how he handled it. If I had a channel, you know, I would make sure to say, you know, we're going to question what could be real here and what could not be real. But we're going to make sure that right now, as far as we know, it is real and this is what happened. But let's question it. But let's not disrespect people who may, you know, who have apparently lost little children, you know. So there's a way to handle it. But the fact that he's banned today, and so many other people are banned, is a problem because, see, companies have the right to ban who they want. It's in their terms of service, no doubt about it. But again, they're very powerful now. YouTube is, Facebook is, Twitter is, Spotify is, iTunes is. They have all banned Alex Jones InfoWars. But they don't ban other people. And a lot of people are saying it's hate speech, but it's not. What eventually got him terminated was the fact that he was promoting his live show on a different channel. Like, hey, now we're creating a new channel. You can see us live here. Well, that's against terms of use. Well, tons of people do this on YouTube. They don't go down for it. Alex did. I have an issue when you pick out something wrong with somebody you are looking for something to be wrong, when you let everybody else slide with it. One of the sites that they promote now that Alex is gone on his website is BuzzFeed. I'm pretty sure BuzzFeed is filled with hate speech and a narrative of hate and unequal culture. Go watch BuzzFeed's videos on white people. By the way, before I'm going to see it in the comments down below, so let me just square it up. I'm not normal. I'm not like one of you sheep asses. I'm not a liberal. I'm not a Republican. So before you start screaming to me that I'm a crazy liberal or that I'm a crazy Republican in the comment section, you can just dial that back right now, because that's not true and it's not going to happen. Okay? A lot of people aren't going to like me because I'm not going to fall into your stupid left or right. I believe the left and the right are criminals, and it's proven that they're all purchased because on the left there's multi-million and billion-dollar companies that pay for those candidates when they become on the left. And there's people that pay for the candidates on the right so that they can get the laws they want introduced. So therefore, the left and the right are owned by people who have money, for the most part. And therefore, I just don't like either one of those sides. And I also know that I'm not coming to you from my studio in the other room. I'm coming to you from a closet in a dining room where it's a shithole behind me. So I expect those comments too. But that's fine. This is Shame on News. Alex was removed. I don't always agree with him. But I don't agree with people being removed. I don't agree with people being bullied. I don't agree with how people were censored more than anything. It's funny because the other day he said Alex Jones has a dire warning about the tech left's accelerated killing of free speech across the internet. Here's the dire warning. And wouldn't you know it, the dire warning is gone. He's got a dire warning about what's going to happen. Well, it did happen. I have seen so many things that Alex Jones said not come true or seemingly be stretched. But I've seen many things that Alex Jones has said that I thought, well, he's crazy. This guy's crazy. This guy's out of his mind. This is a narrative or whatever. And then it came true. And I've watched thing after thing after thing come true for this guy. And I don't know what his batting average is as far as getting stuff right and wrong, as I dare to say what it is or guess. But when I see his news reports and him talk about things, it seems to me, from my opinion, this is not fact, but 30% of the time what Alex Jones starts flipping out about or talking about does come true. The other percent of the time, it's either overhyped, overblown, it doesn't happen, or it's a spin that isn't going to happen yet either. Or it's his opinion on something that may not really be the way things are. But 30% of the time, to me, this is just my head, my own number, I made it up, he gets stuff right. And it's stuff that you would say, well, he's a crazy conspiracy guy. But then it's right. Hate speech, there's guys on YouTube right now that are actually hating on people. There's people that are telling you to go out and hurt people and attack people who don't agree with you. Those YouTube channels are up, and people say, oh, well, they're not big enough or whatever. Well, many of these people, some of them have 2 million subscribers. 2 million subscribers, and they're able to say things like, do this to certain people, do that to certain people. Very strange. Especially if it's like, I don't even want to get into that type of politics. I'm even afraid to talk about it. See, they've even got me afraid to talk about it, to talk about these things. They've succeeded. Meanwhile, this weekend in Chicago, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, this weekend in Chicago, 75 shot, according to InfoWars. I read that it was 66 shot, according to Fox and CNN. Although CNN published it on their website somewhere, but I don't think I've seen it on their... I don't think I've actually seen it on their news broadcast, but I don't really watch it at all either. But I did look around and I see websites carrying it. 75s to somewhere between 65 and 75 people were shot in Chicago over the weekend. 5 to 12 maybe dead. Why is anybody talking about that? 75 shot. I believe African-American people, too. When there was a lie about one guy in another state, when there was a lie about how a guy was shot by cops in another state, there were mass riots, mass reporting, mass talk. We talked about it every day over and over and over and over again. Meanwhile, 75 people were shot over the week, or 75 people were shot over the weekend. Nobody's talking about it. Why? I wonder why. Very weird to me. Maybe they are talking about it. I don't even know, because I've censored myself off of all media pretty much. You know, if I see something from Alex Jones, it's kind of by accident. If I see something from CNN, it's by accident. You know? But to be banned off all social media. So now you have to be on your own website, which is your own contained website. How do people find out about your website? Well, the only way that people find out about your website is by knowing about your website. But how can they know about your website if they can't find out about your website? So if you have tedsshoes.com, and then you make a YouTube channel talking about your shoes where you create a following, then you make a Twitter account where you get a following, you make a Facebook where you're following, you advertise on Google, you advertise on Facebook, you advertise everywhere, and that's how people find out about your website to go to buy stuff from your website. But what if people decide that they just don't like your views on things? Hey, we don't like Ted's views on things, so here's what we're gonna do: we're gonna ban you everywhere. Well, then what do you say? Well, you can buy advertising. Well, no, because Google has decided to deny you advertising because they don't agree with your views. So you've now been denied Google advertising. So now you've been suppressed on Google's search engine as far as Ted Shoes, right? So unless they find Ted Shoes, they find you. But if they search good sale shoes or sale on shoes or shoes I can buy, you never come up in the buy or the purchase suggestions whatsoever. You can't purchase your way onto the site to get seen by anybody. So your business is essentially screwed for somebody else's opinion of your politics, which, by the way, I lean left. I voted Obama. I'll never vote again until this stuff gets fixed, because who am I going to vote for? I didn't vote for Hillary or Trump because I was like, I'm not voting for these two. I voted for Obama once. I would have voted for Al Gore if I could have. I think I did vote for Al Gore. I think it counted back in 2000. You know, I wouldn't. I wish I didn't vote for him, not knowing what he is. But I mean, after knowing what Bush did, you know, I don't know. Maybe it would have been better if Al Gore had been president. Even though I think Al Gore is a scumbag, but I know George Bush is a scumbag. You know, in a different way. That's a whole nother argument to get into later. But once again, just shitty, horrible people get in charge. So Ted Shoes becomes banned on Twitter, banned on Facebook, banned everywhere. So Ted Shoes now can't be discovered on those social media platforms, but they also can't advertise on those platforms because Google has taken away their advertising. So they think, well, we're going to advertise on Facebook. Maybe people will find our shoe store if we advertise on Facebook. However, Facebook has now said, no, I'm sorry, we will not advertise you as well. And you cannot speak with your fans, listeners, or create a retweet or tweet following on Twitter. So now there is no way at all for someone to ever find you unless it's word of mouth. So now you really need to do a good job of entertaining those 50 to 500 people that maybe find your site or already knew about your site so they can spread the word about your site, because without them spreading the word about your site, you have no site, because there's no chance that anybody can find out about you. If you have a fidget spinner you want to sell, you can advertise it to get the ball rolling. Word of mouth, shares, start spinning away, you start making sales. You go on YouTube, people subscribe to your YouTube account. People find you on your YouTube account. You do crazy glow-in-the-dark tricks with spinners. People find your account, they find your website, they buy your product. But without that, you don't have that. You've been shut off. CNN, you can find them on television to buy their product essentially by watching it. You're giving them views. Certainly, these channels can't be on, Ted Shoes or InfoWars aren't going to be on TV at this point. So you're not going to be seen. You are censoring somebody. You're censored. Now, I agree that I would say that there are probably more horrific sites out there that we don't know about as far as on YouTube, that we don't even know about, that exist with thousands, hundreds of thousands of subscribers, millions, and they do worse, perhaps. or the same thing, but they're not shut down. And the thing is, to me, I don't like bullies. I don't like singling people out. Not a big fan of everything Alex Jones says, but I am entertained by him. I will say that. I don't agree with one standard for certain people. Most of the people in charge of Twitter, most of the people in charge of Facebook and YouTube all lean liberal, all lean left. Now, 15 years ago, if you told me that, I would have said, awesome. You know, being a pretty hardcore left-wing Democrat liberal, somebody who hated George Bush and hated that whole thing. You know, if it was 2004, I would have said, hell yeah, this is great. That's good. But now it's terrifying because there's an agenda. They're using the agenda. I don't like that. I don't agree with someone over there, but I'm not going to stop them from speaking. And I know what you're saying, that, oh, well, they're not. He can still make his website. How long before the people that host the domains shut him down on his own website? That's the next step. People laughed that he wouldn't come down on Facebook and YouTube and all these places and said that he was joking around about it and it wasn't real. Now he's gone. What happens when the domain host says, we will not host your domain anymore? Here's your money back. We don't want to host your domain anymore. What happens then when the government makes laws about websites, about hate speech websites not allowed to be viewed in America? What happens when that happens? Who says what is hate speech? Who agrees what can be censored and can't be censored? That's what's next. And then you're talking about having to have a VPN to broadcast your site, or having to go outside the country to broadcast your site just to talk about opinions and news. And then you will need a VPN or a private site somehow to view that site. Just to view it. That is crazy. That is the next step, in my opinion. And whether you agree, here's the thing, whether you like Alex Jones or you hate Alex Jones, if you don't support, if you support his banning, you probably don't support me. You probably don't support half the people on YouTube, if not everybody. Because at any time they can come for you or change the narrative that now you're the bad guy, or now you're the one who's got the hate speech, or now you're the one we don't agree with, so we're going to kick you off. Go ahead and start giving people that power and watch what happens. As I said, I don't agree with most of the things on InfoWars, as I don't agree with CNN and Fox News or MSNBC. I don't agree with any of them because they all have spin. But they all do find real news. Despite all the fake news they spew out, they do find fake news. They do find real news here or there. But at least it's equal that all these different people are able to throw out their ideas and news and spin, although I don't agree with it. But it's not equal when you start taking down certain ones. And we knew this was going to happen, especially on YouTube, because Google bought YouTube to censor the creators. That's why they attacked PewDiePie. They tried to take PewDiePie's channel down because they want to bring television, TV, and mainstream media to YouTube. And they want to kick off the people like us with opinions of our own who think for ourselves, because the agenda is to control everybody under one giant narrative. And this is becoming more and more evident and obvious, and it is unbelievable that everybody doesn't now see what the agenda here is. It's happening in movies. It's happening in TV. And now it's happening on the internet and censorship. So many people censored. Who's next? Who do they go after next now, right? Because, again, I'm not a big fan of right-wing politics. Not a big fan of it. Mostly lean liberal. But who's next on the right side that they're going to go after? Will it be Ben Shapiro? Will it be that Tomi Lahren chick? Many people would say good. I don't say good. I say that's dangerous. Because while their opinions may be ridiculous, asinine, or you may not like their opinions, all opinions are welcome in my world. All speech is welcome in my world, as long as you're not... Here's the thing. Here's where I kind of... here's where you could have an argument. Westboro Baptist Church, right? We have free speech in America. And I get that this is different. Free speech in America versus a company's right to terminate somebody on their platform. It's different. But not really. Now, I have said this a million times. I am not saying YouTube and Twitter and Facebook cannot terminate people. Of course they can. They're companies. They can do whatever they want. But this was a clear coordination by all of them to attack a certain one. And I'm not saying they can't do that either, because they can. But just know that there is a double standard by these companies, and they're driving a certain narrative which makes me uncomfortable. When their sites are the number one way that everybody gets their content, art, creativity, and news out at this time, it is as dangerous almost as taking away free speech. It's the step right behind it. Because when we made these laws for companies to be able to create their own rules about, hey, listen, we're going to kick you off our site. It's kind of similar to when a company bakes a cake for somebody and then a gay couple comes in and says, hey, I want to have a groom and a groom on the cake because we're gay, we're getting married. Oh, we're not going to serve you. Because it's a service. YouTube has become a needed service. Twitter has become a needed. Facebook, all these have become a needed tool by everybody. Just like a bakery denying a customer is wrong, YouTube and Twitter and Facebook censoring people but not censoring other people is wrong, in my opinion. If you're going to open a bakery and say that, we're going to make cakes for people, it's got to be one way or the other. Either the bakery has the right to refuse or make whatever they want because it's their bakery, or not. But many of these people would say the bakery has to make that, or the bakery is like mean or something, and they force the bakery to make any cake, or they can't have a bakery. Well, how come the bakery is forced to make any cake and do anything they want, but on YouTube and Twitter, they're going to force you to do what they want? It's backwards. It's one thing or the other there. It's either both or none. I'll agree with either one, but not both, not one or the other. Westboro Baptist Church is where I draw the line. People that go to somebody's funeral to make fun of gay people for being dead and to say God hates you, and for the families of dead people to have to see that is where I draw the line. People calling family members of Sandy Hook and threatening them because possibility of something might be fake or something might be happening is also despicable and disturbing, and that's also where the line is drawn for me. I think anybody who contacted those people should face a civil lawsuit or something, or face a lawsuit for harassment. And maybe even like emotional torture, to be honest. And I believe that there should be emotional torture for the Westboro Baptist Church that go to people's dead funerals. That is not, to me, free speech. That's where I draw the line. And it is free speech to say it out loud or to make a report on it and to talk about it. That's free speech. To report on something and say, I believe it was all fake, fine. If you believe that, that's your thing. That's kind of sick and weird, but weirder things have happened, so okay, it's an opinion. At least it's out there, sure, whatever. But if you actually go to those families and harass them, you are a horrific person. Anyway, that's it, man. I went off the rails a little bit here. Of course, CNN talks about the Alex Jones banning on their site. I looked at it just now, and they talk about BuzzFeed being a credible source or something. Oh my God, man! When you are saying that CNN's news, NBC's news, BuzzFeed is news, but InfoWars is not news, you have a clear psychotic agenda at this point. Well, guys, that's it, man. Hit the like button down below and make sure that you leave me your information and you look for more news from me coming soon, because I'm going to be on a separate platform as well, because I'm getting the hell off of YouTube soon completely. Obviously, days are numbered here. If you want to know how to support me, write that down in the chat as well. What do you think about all this? Are you happy that Alex Jones got banned? I don't know how anybody could really be happy, because anybody could be banned. People are banned all the time wrongly, even people all over the place. Liberals are banned for the wrong reasons too sometimes. You just don't know why. Just bizarre. Thank you, guys. Leave a comment down below. What do you think? Was I wrong? Was I right? I'll entertain what you have to say. I'm certainly not right about everything. Half the time even, maybe. Thanks for listening. This is Shame on News, and you can't handle the news. Subscribe.